Keyboard Exchange International. And don't forget, subscribe. That way you'll always know what we have going on.
Hi folks, Jim Huss here at Keyboard Exchange International along with Mr. Randolph Carter, also known by his daughter as Big Daddy. So, Randolph's going to be doing a demonstration on number 470, which when I was testing it out the other day, Randolph,
yes,
I said, oh boy, I'll tell you what, if somebody doesn't buy this one quick, I want to take it home.
Oh man.
This is a keeper here, you know,
yeah,
but
special, very special.
it's very special. And when they hear you play, and actually, Randolph, I'd like to come back in a little bit and play it along with you playing a C3. And we'll do something like Opus 10, or maybe this will be Opus 11,
okay,
with a special chord progression that we'll talk about after you're finished.
Okay.
Teaching people how to improvise.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. But first, we want you to all hear number 470. This is an instrument that is truly better than new, because it's a 1968 B3 that sadly had a lot of foam damage, too much to repair efficiently. Therefore, we took keyboards out of a beautiful RT3, and somebody might restore that RT3 one day in the future, but in the meantime, we have a 68 B3 with felt in the keyboards, and those keyboards obviously were well tested before we made the exchange of keyboards.
Right.
Yeah, but this organ here, it just doesn't come any better than this, because it's got the red caps and felt in the keyboards, no foam. It's just not foam free. It's like it never had foam to start with, you know. So this is something special. And I could talk about how great it sounds, but it's better if you just do the talking with your playing skills. So play whatever you want and give people a good idea of different drawbar settings, etc. And then I'll come back in here and we'll ask you to play the C3. We'll do a special jam showing people how to improvise.
Let's do it.
telling you the truth when I said this organ was something special?
It's special. It's
This
very
is very
special.
special, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why we call it better than new.
Better than you.
I mean, you can't get anything new that's better than this anywhere.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So this is like taking, even within the context of tone wheel organs, you're taking the best, most reliable keyboards, and you even mentioned it's not only the reliability, it's the feel.
The feel, yeah.
Yeah, the feel of a 1959 organ or whatever it was the keyboards came from. They came from an RT3.
Right.
Yeah, but so you sounded great, Randolph. Thanks very much. So what we'd like to do now is what you and I discussed, you know, before we started making this video, which is we're going to do a fun little thing where I'll be playing this B3 and Randolph will be playing the C3 that's right behind it. And we're going to play 4 chords, a repetitive chord progression. It's the same chords over and over, and that's true of a lot of hit songs, folks. I mean, you know, I think there's lots of people online telling you about the 6 chord, the 1 chord, the 4, and the 5 chord. So we're going to be doing this little demonstration on how to improvise in the key of C, or some would say it's actually the relative minor key of A minor. So we're going to start on an A minor, and then we're going to go to F, so that's 6 to 4 to 1 to 5. So if you could scoot over to the C3 and get that started, we're going to do 4 counts on each chord. Randolph's going to be focusing in on the bass pedals and the chords, and then also we're going to kind of swap back and forth on who's doing the lead lines. So we got the... Let me kind of set the tempo here, Randolph. So it's like 2, 3, 4. as we discussed earlier, with 4 simple chords and just playing your ad-libbing on the white notes.
Right, yeah.
And if you're a flute player or a sax player or any other solo type of instrument, and in the traditional C scale of a piano or an organ, and we know that some instruments they have a different scale. Like a saxophone plays in B flat or something.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not
it's
totally
like a
clear
whole
on
step.
whole step. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm not totally up to speed on that, but in a traditional C scale, you can play all those white notes when you're doing those chords, the key of A minor, the relative minor to the key of C. So in addition to trying to sell this organ, we're trying to give folks a little pointer on how they can improve their playing skills. And a great place to start is with those 4 chords. That would be the 6 to the 4 to the 1 to the 5. And just do it over and over and over, and then let your heart go where it wants to go, your musical imagination. And if you're just playing the piano and you have a friend playing another instrument, like a flute or whatever, have some fun with it, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
In fact, Garrison, my grandson, he's in the high school band.
Mm-hmm.
He might bring 3 flute players in here sometime. We're going to actually show another demonstration of flute players playing along with us.
That'd be wonderful.
That should be fun,
yeah.
yeah. Well, Randolph, why don't you take us out with a little demo on this Hammond C3,
Okay.
so people can kind of understand that the only difference between a B3 and a C3 is the furniture. However, this one's a little special. And if nobody wants it, I'm going to take it
You'll
home.
take it out.
But I have an obligation to let it go. It's an obligation I have to the company. If a customer has to have the best one we have, this is a one.
Okay.
Take it away, Randolph.
Well, my name is Artelia Spears. Most people know me as Tia Spears. I'm from Florence, South Carolina, and locally, of course, I give private piano and organ lessons. And with the World Wide Web and technology today, I've been blessed for the last, I would say, 5 years to do online organ lessons with the musiciantrainingcenter.com. There, of course, is subscription based, and we not only have organ lessons but also piano lessons. But I teach the Hammond organ lessons, and every week, I record lessons. There's choir, hymns, quartet, you name it, within gospel. You're going to hear and learn from the videos that we have out there, scales, chords, chord progressions, everything is available at the musiciantrainingcenter.com.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I love the way you presented that. I made a little DVD called the Jim Huss Frozen Finger Method for Basic Beginners.
Frozen finger?
The Frozen Finger Method. I'll give you a DVD for an experienced musician like yourself.
Okay.
You'll get a chuckle from it.
All right.
You probably won't learn anything, but I'll give you a couple of them, and you can give them to children and adults who are just starting,
Okay.
because that's who it's designed for. Because someone with your experience probably doesn't want to sit with someone and give them the raw basics.
Well, my philosophy is as long as you're breathing and seeing another day, you should be learning. So,
I like that.
I like to glean from wherever I can. So I watch DVD and I might learn something new. I might see another perspective.
That would be nice. Maybe we could make a video together someday where I explain things for the beginner,
Okay.
and then you tell people how they can advance from that point.
I like that.
That would be fun to do. I'd enjoy doing that.
That's great perspectives.
Well, hey Randolph, we did that little free lesson telling people how to improvise.
Right.
And folks, I was watching the footage of what Randolph and I recorded together. He was demonstrating the B3, and then he moved over to demonstrate the C3, but I guess somewhere in the middle there we were telling people how they could improvise.
Right, yeah.
And I remembered, because Randolph was playing the same chords over here on the C3, and you were playing another note that we hadn't discussed, which was that E flat.
Yeah, the E flat, yeah.
Okay, so the E flat, if you're playing white notes and you want to get another note, it's like you can throw that E flat in there also, but it's usually, you slide off of it. You don't stay there too long. You can slide up and you can slide down. You do that in slow motion. And just hold that E flat to the 4 note. Come down. Yeah. So you can slide up, you can slide down off that E flat. And some people call that a slur.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a slide. I just know when I was a kid taking piano lessons, the piano teacher told my mother, little Jimmy, he's always sliding off those notes, and here I'm trying to teach him something more like standard classical music. And you ought to get him a different teacher that would appreciate sliding, because that's something you do in blues and jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
But I'm not the right. She wasn't the right teacher for us. Some little Jimmy was going to be sliding off the notes. Anyway, this is kind of like a free bonus for y'all, because go ahead and play some more, do a little slow motion. And the other thing, you're doing those 4 chords we discussed, but there's another thing it's a little easier to do, which is go from A minor to D major.
Oh, yeah.
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 And then go ahead and do your ad-libbing, all the white notes, plus the E flat black note. And I noticed that Randolph, when he went and played the 4 chords that we showed you originally, you then took those same 4 chords and you took it to a whole new level that we didn't even think of when we're trying to give beginners lessons,
Right.
which is really cool. It shows people where you can get to if you practice every day, 8 hours a day like Randolph.
Oh, I wish.
But what I like about an organ or a piano is you don't, like with a flute, you can just play one note at a time, or a saxophone. I've seen guys hold 2 saxophones up and try to play different notes at the same time, but it's like the human voice, you can only sing one note at a time. But on a keyboard, you can do things like...
Yeah.
Thanks for your time and attention, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Randolph Carter, Jim Huss speaking to you from Keyboard Exchange International. Keyboard Exchange International. Let me say it a third time. Keyboard Exchange International. Hi, I'm Jim Huss speaking with you from the showroom at Keyboard Exchange International. We'd like to thank all of you who have helped us grow our business for the past 51 years, and it is our intent to find good homes for all the instruments we have gathered from all over the United States. Thank you to the families that have preserved the instruments and then sold them to us knowing that we would find good homes for them. If you, on the other hand, are in need of an instrument, please give us a call. There's been a lot of effort to gather these instruments together, and we would like to make you part of the Keyboard Exchange International family. Let's all work together to keep these fine instruments going long into the future so that we now and future generations can continue to enjoy the wonderful sound of the Hammond tone wheel organ. God bless. Signing off.